Hi everyone, it's Jade here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be carrying on with this random colouring challenge that we've been doing in Rita Berman's new book. So I'm going to go ahead and choose which pencils we're going to be using today. So let's spin the wheel. And it looks like we've got the Brute Verna pencils. So I'll go ahead and get them out and we will get started. Okay, so I've entered all of the numbers into this random number generator, so 1 to 120, and I've told it to pick 7 pencils. So let's go ahead and see what we get. Okay, so it's picked 7 random colours for us. So down here you can see. So I'm going to have to go and pick them out of my set of 120. So this could take me a while, but I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, so here's the colours that we got. So we got a nice green colour. We've got a nice orange, quite a bright orange, a red, a purple, and this is like a peach, a pinky purple, and another orange. So I think what I'm going to do is swatch these out for you so that you guys can see them a little bit better. So I'll just go ahead and zoom you in. Okay, so the first colour that we've got is number 5, and this is quite a dark orange colour. So it's quite a vibrant orange, nice and bright. And then we've got 103, which is a dark reddy colour. Next we've got number 13, which is like, it's almost like a skin tone, like a real pale peachy colour. Then 53, which is a dark purple. Number 75, which is a nice green colour. Again, another quite vibrant colour. Number 100, which is our pinky purple colour. And last but not least, number 50, which is our light orange colour. So these are the colours that we've got to work with today. Quite a nice little selection. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the picture that we're going to be doing. And I decided to do this fruit basket, seeing as though we've got a good variety of colours today. So I'm going to go in with number 50. And I'm going to make a start on this strawberry. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in all of the seeds. So I'm just using normal pressure for this and just filling this in completely. Next I'm going in with number 13, so this is our peachy colour, and I'm going to add this to the top edge of the strawberry because this is where I want our highlight to be. So I thought if I add this light colour on first, then when I go over it with the red, hopefully it'll be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go in with the red and I'm going to go ahead and do just normal pressure here and fill in the rest of the strawberry. And now I'm going to take this up and over the peachy colour that we did. So I'm just using a bit lighter pressure here, just so that we can get a little bit of this red colour down. And then I'm going to go back over it with number 13, which is our peachy colour, and just use this to blend the red together and make sure there's no sort of white gaps anywhere. And then I just went back in with the red pencil just to fill in some of these little white gaps that you can still see. So I thought I'd go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go in with the green colour and make a start on these leaves. Because we've only got one green, I'm actually going to make like natural highlights in these. So I'm going to leave little sections of white so that they look like they've got a bit of a highlight on there without us having to use any other colours. So I'm just focusing on the edges and then leaving like a little white section in the middle. So I'm going to do the same for all of these. If you guys are enjoying this series, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. So next I'm just going back in with the red and just darkening up this highlight a little bit because it wasn't quite as dark as I wanted it to be. Okay, so next we're going to make a start on these oranges. So I'm going to go in with number 50 and I'm going to do a base coat on them. So I'm just going to use light pressure and go ahead and fill in these 3 oranges. Next, taking number 5, I'm going to go ahead and start shading these. So I decided I was going to shade here because the other orange in front would be casting a bit of a shadow, so just down the left hand side. And I'm just using normal pressure here just to really darken this up. So I'm going to go ahead and shade behind here as well and just make it look like this one's pushed a little bit further back. And then for this one, I think I'm going to shade it down the left hand side as well, just so that we're sort of consistent with the shading. So I'm just using more pressure on the edge and then lifting the pressure as you come towards the middle. Then I'm going to go back in with number 50 and just go over all 3 of these and make sure that they're all blended together nicely. Okay, sticking with number 50, I'm going to add a bit of orange to these leaves here in the background because I want them to look like they've got a little bit of a shadow from the oranges themselves. So I'm just adding a little bit of this colour right at the sort of tips of the leaves. And then I'm going to go ahead with the green and just use normal pressure and fill these in completely. Okay, next going back in with number 50, I'm just going to go over this orange and just darken it up a little bit again, just so that it stands out a little bit more. Okay, so next I'm going to use number 13 and I'm going to go ahead and base this pear with number 13 because I want it to be a lighter green than the green that we've already got. So I thought if I put this one down first and then add the green on top, it might be a little bit lighter than just the green on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm just going over that pale colour with the green. And then I'm going to go back in with number 13, the peachy colour again. And I'm going to go over this again. So it's just a case of sort of layering it until you get the colour or the effect that you want. So sometimes you just have to do a couple of layers. So I'm going to go in with the green again. And this time I'm going to use a little bit more pressure to get a little bit more colour down. But as you can see, it is actually lighter than the other green that we used for the leaves at the back. So it is working. So I'm going to go ahead and just go over that one more time with number 13 just to really lighten that up. Okay, so back with the green, we're going to go ahead and attack this leaf at the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the edges of this leaf. So just normal pressure all the way around the outside edge. Then I'm going to take our red colour and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the middle of this leaf. Now I'm going to add some green on top of that red to try and make it look like a bit of a brown colour. So mix it all together. Okay, next going in with 100, which is our pinky purple colour, I'm going to go ahead and do a light base coat on all of these grapes. So this is going to be the lightest colour that we use for these. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that for all of them. Next, taking number 53, the dark purple colour, I'm going to go ahead and add some shade to these grapes. So I'm just going to shade along the right hand side and just leave like a little bit of the pink showing, so it looks like a highlight that we've got left. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same for all of these grapes. It was quite handy that we got the colours that we did, because we actually managed to do like the grapes in a purple colour and the strawberry in a red. So it turned out not too bad actually. I think the oranges were meant to be apples, but I did them as oranges because I had the orange colour. So that's what I decided to do. So I'm just going to continue carrying on filling in these grapes and adding some shade. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with the pink colour, and I'm just going to add a little bit more pink to these grapes. So what I'm going to do is just go right up to the dark purple and just add a little bit more colour, but still leave a little bit of the lighter colour on there, so that we've got like the dark purple, then a bit of pink, and then the really light colour. And that's just going to make the highlights stand out even more. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of these grapes. Okay, and now we're going to make a start on these leaves. So I'm going to go in with the same pink colour and do a base coat on both of these. So I want them to be like pinky purple to match the grapes. And then I'm going to go in with 053, which is our dark purple shade, and I'm going to add some shadows to the leaves themselves. So I'm just going over the lines that were already drawn in and just making them stand out a little bit more. And then I'm going to add a bit of shade to the bottom here where the grapes would be casting a shadow onto the leaf. And then back in with our pink colour and just blend that all together. And I'm just going to go back in with my purple because I want this to be a little bit darker. It's not standing out enough at the moment. So I'm just going to go over that and darken it all up a little bit. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do the same for this leaf. So again, adding in some shadows with the purple and then just filling in the rest with the pink colour. Okay, next we're going back in with the green colour and we're going to go ahead and fill in these tiny little leaves at the top here. So because they're so small, I'm just going to fill them in completely. Just use normal pressure for this. Okay, and then going back in with our red, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the stem for the bunch of grapes. So I want to make this like a brown colour, so I tried mixing the red with the green and it came out with quite a dark colour. So that's what we're going to do here. So I just used normal pressure with the red and then normal pressure with the green on top, and it gave us this really dark brown colour. So next I'm going to start on this little flower down here. So I've chosen number 13, which is our light pale peachy colour. And I'm going to fill in the middle of the flower and then just take this slightly onto the petals. Then going in with our red colour, I'm going to go ahead and go over the petals. So I'm going to go over where we just put the pale pink, and it should just leave like a lighter bit on the petal. So where the petal meets the centre of the flower, it should be just slightly lighter. Okay, and now I'm going to go back in with our lighter shade, number 13, and I'm just going to go over where we added the lighter colour before, just to try and lighten it up a little bit more. And now with number 5, I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow to the middle of the flower, so just on the right hand side. And then going back in with the red, I'm going to continue filling in these little leaves. So I'm just filling them into halfway. Then I'm going to use number 13 to drag that red further up and just blend that all together so that these ones will be lighter on the tips rather than in the centre. And then back in with our famous green again. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in this leaf here. So I'm going to focus this around the edges, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in, but leave a white highlight in there like we did for the other leaves. Okay, so going back in with the red, we're going to make a start on this basket. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in this sort of rim around the edge here, which would be darker. So I'm going to do a first coat of red, and then I'm going to go over it with the green. So the same technique that we used for the stalk for the grapes. So we're going to make this like a darky brown colour. And then I'm going to do the same for these little sections on the basket itself. So the lines that are coming down the basket, I'm going to go ahead and fill them in with the red first, and then I'm going to go over it again with the green and just make that into a dark brown colour as well. Oh, and I went over the edge. So I'm just getting my eraser here and just getting that up from the side where it's gone over the basket. So I'm going to carry on now doing the green over the top. Okay, next I'm going to go in with number 13, our lightest colour, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in these sections in between the basket because I want these to be a little bit lighter than the rims that we've just done. And then going in with 50, which is slightly darker, I'm going to go over this as well. And then back in with number 13 to blend it all together. I was trying to make like a light brown colour, so this was my attempt. Next, going in with the red colour, I'm just going to go ahead and go over all these little lines in the basket, just so that I can make them a little bit darker as well, so they're going to match the outer rims. So I'll go in with the red first, and then I'll go over these with the green after. Okay, so next going back in with the red, I'm going to go over these green lines again, because the green was showing up a little bit too much, so I'm going to go over with the red and make him look a bit more browny. Okay, and now going back in with number 50, I'm just going to use this with a bit more pressure and just go along the right hand side just to darken this up ever so slightly. Okay guys, so next I'm going to go in with number 5, which is the darker orange colour, and I'm going to go ahead and go over the right hand side again just to darken this up a little bit more, because it wasn't quite dark enough, it didn't look brown enough for me, so I've added another colour to this. And then going in with 013, I'm going to start on the handle, so I'm going to go ahead and do a base coat all over the handle with this colour. Then going in with 50, which is our lighter orange shade, I'm going to go ahead and start adding some shadows. So I'm going to focus this on the inside part of the handle and at the bottom where it joins onto the basket. Next, taking number 5, which is our darker orange colour, I'm again going to focus this on the very inside edge of the basket just to really darken that up. And then I'm going to go back over with number 50 and just blend that out. And back in with our lightest colour just to go over the top where we've left the highlight. Then I'm taking 103, which is our red colour, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this to the bottom where the basket joins and it's sort of in shade from the oranges and from the grapes. And then I'm going to go over it with the green, so it makes it like the brown colour that we've been making. So this will really darken this little section up for us. And then I'm going to go back over it with the red just to make it look a bit more brown because it's quite green at the moment. And then taking number 5, I'm just going to go ahead and blend where that brown is up into the handle using this quite bright orange. So it should just dull out where we've got the joining line and just blend that together. And I'm also going to add this again to the bottom of the basket just to darken that up. Okay, so now it's time to add some highlights. So I've got my Posca pen and I'm going to start by putting some little dots onto this red flower that we've done, just to make it like pop forwards a little bit and brighten it up. Next, I'm going to make a start on these grapes. So what I'm going to do is just add a little dot of highlight to the left hand side, so where we left the lightest colour. And this is just going to really make that highlight stand out and make each individual grape stand out a bit more. So it's always worth adding a little highlight to them. Okay, and now that this Posca's dry, I'm just going to use my green pencil and go over the Posca. So this is just going to add a little bit of a green tint to this Posca pen so it's not as white. So it'll just look like a bit of a green highlight instead of a white one. Okay, you guys, and this is the final result. So I hope you like it. I'll zoom you out so that you can take a better look. So this is how it came out. I think it's actually quite all right considering the colours that we had to use. So it's very colourful, just the way I like it. I'll just bring it up so you can take a better look. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.